You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic.
A Bears insider claims that the Luke Getsy decision has already been made. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Before I go any further with today's episode of Keek on the Mic, I want to let you guys know that I will be doing my first Chicago Bears mock offseason as soon as tomorrow. I know you guys enjoy those videos, so make sure you hit those bell notifications so you don't miss any videos like that this offseason right here on Keek on the Mic. So let's go ahead and talk about Matt Eberflus and Luke Getsy, and more on Luke Getsy. I know yesterday on the podcast, I talked about Luke Getsy and how I feel like out of everything, I think he is guaranteed to be fired as the Chicago Bears offensive coordinator. As it stands right now, he still has a job with the Chicago Bears, but I do feel like within the next couple of days, especially what the players have been saying, especially DJ Moore coming out, kind of calling Luke Getsy out, I think Luke Getsy will no longer be the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. But I wanted to come on the podcast today to share with you guys what Courtney Cronin had to say of ESPN. She covers the Chicago Bears, and she actually appeared on the Waddle and Sylvie show to discuss what is happening at Hallis Hall, and she can't give a guaranteed answer on what's going to happen to head coach Matt Eberflus, but much like Brad Biggs, she also feels very adamant that Luke Getsy will be gone within the next couple of days. Check out what she had to say on Waddle and Sylvie, Bears fans.
Do you believe that Fields' future is tied to what they think of the draft class, or will they make a decision on Fields' future based on what they think of Justin?
I think it's going to be made based on Justin, but also the offensive coordinator. We've talked about this, guys. Can you imagine him in a third offensive system in 4 years? Because I can't. I think that that's ultimately what will guide their direction. And then, of course, you have to be in love with a quarterback at the top of the draft board to move on from Justin Fields. But it also, it's the most lucrative draft capital. Like, you never want to be in this spot. So when you have franchise-altering draft capital, if you're worth your salt as a decision maker, you're not going to move off of that unless you are fully convicted, okay, this is the right path, because it could set your franchise back a decade if you go the wrong way. So I think it's the prospects that they have been evaluating now for 2 years with this 2024 draft class, but also how they want to pair the offense with the coordinator and the quarterback. If Luke Getsy's gone, my money's on Justin Fields being gone too.
So first things first, Bears fans, there's nothing guaranteed yet. At the moment, Luke Getsy is still the offensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears. But once again, I feel like within the next couple of days, he will be let go of his duties and will no longer be the OC of the Chicago Bears moving forward. And when you look at Luke Getsy, he just didn't make enough progress in year 2 as the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. Obviously, the Bears offensive line did improve. You add wide receiver DJ Moore. You did have a couple of weapons on the outside. You had a 3-headed monster in the backfield. So it wasn't unreasonable to expect better results from the Chicago Bears offense. And I know it's hard to sit here and just blame one person. I know we could say a lot about Justin Fields. I know we could say about how the offensive line was kind of up and down with injuries and their play. I know a lot of people can say, well, yeah, we did get DJ Moore, but that's only one player. How about the rest of the weapons on the Chicago Bears offense? But when you look at offensive coordinator Luke Getsy, he showed a lot of inabilities to be an actual offensive coordinator. And over and over and over again, when you look back at some of the plays that he called, he just doesn't have it, right? So I think it's reasonable to think that Luke Getsy will be fired in the next couple of days as the Chicago Bears offensive coordinator, and I think it's the right move moving forward for the Chicago Bears franchise. One thing that I found quite interesting, what Courtney Cronin had to say on the Waddle and Sylvie show, she said that she thinks that Luke Getsy and Justin Fields will be a package deal. She finds it hard to believe that Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears will want to give Justin Fields a third offensive coordinator. That she feels like it's not fair to him, and she feels like it's just not smart at this moment to give him a third offensive coordinator, and it may just be easier to move off of Justin Fields and get that new quarterback and pair him with a really good OC. And I understand there's probably some truth to that. So I think giving him a capable offensive coordinator and seeing what happened could be worth it for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. But at the same time, I can understand where Courtney Cronin is coming from. You have to think at a business standpoint for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. But I do think it would be quite messed up if they did move off from Justin Fields, and let's say they draft Caleb Williams or Drake May, and they finally get a good offensive coordinator. Once again, I understand it's a business, but I think looking at it, Bears fans, I think for me personally, you guys already know how I feel about Justin Fields. I think giving Justin Fields one more year with a capable OC, I think it would be worth it. If Justin Fields can't get it done with a capable OC, then we know the problem is for sure Justin Fields. But until the Chicago Bears do that, until the Chicago Bears give Justin Fields a guy, an offensive coordinator, a proven offensive coordinator that can play to his strengths 24/7 and put him in the best situation to succeed, I think that should be the route moving forward for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. The whole issue about this, Bears fans, it's been really quiet in Hallis Hall right now the last couple of days. I know they're doing the exit interviews with the players. I know they're going to be doing the exit interviews with the coaches as well. We don't know the status of Matt Eberflus, and right now we don't know the status of Luke Getsy either. We all think he's going to be fired, and I think that's going to be the case. But when we look at head coach Matt Eberflus, should he be held accountable for hiring Luke Getsy? When you look at the situation, Matt Eberflus was the one who made the push to acquire the former Packers passing game coordinator. And Matt Eberflus knew going into this, when he hired Luke Getsy to be the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears, that he had zero play calling experience in his background. And he still felt that Luke Getsy can come in and take this offense to the next level. Once again, in year one, we were 32nd in passing, dead last. And then in year two, we only went up to 27th in passing. And a lot of it had to do with Luke Getsy's play calling, right? So the lack of experience, I think, plays a big part. Obviously, Luke Getsy was never creative in his play calling. And once again, Luke Getsy was just very inconsistent as a play caller. He failed to play to not only Justin Fields' strengths, but the players around Justin Fields' strengths 24/7 as well. So when we look at this, yes, we can sit here and just blame Luke Getsy, but should Matt Eberflus be at some fault as well for hiring him? And here's the thing. If you get rid of Justin Fields and Luke Getsy, are we going to trust Matt Eberflus to be able to find a good OC? Rather it's Justin Fields at quarterback or Caleb Williams at quarterback. And that's my biggest concern. I told you guys yesterday on the podcast, here's my big dilemma. If you're going to get rid of Justin Fields, I think Matt Eberflus and Justin Fields should be a package deal. You can't just get rid of Justin Fields and Luke Getsy. You might as well get rid of Matt Eberflus at that point as well, because then as a Bears organization, you're continuing that cycle that I talked about on a past episode right here. I'll kick on the mic, where you have a coach that's basically on a hot seat. He has to have a big year next year to keep his job. And you're bringing in a new quarterback, a new offensive coordinator. And then once again, let's say that quarterback doesn't work out. Let's say you do replace Justin Fields and Caleb Williams, Drake May, or Jaden Daniels gets drafted, and they don't work out in year one because obviously they are a rookie, right? Then Matt Eberflus is going to get fired. Then you're going to bring in a new head coach. And then you are repeating the same damn cycle. So when I'm looking at this situation, Bears fans, I just see a huge mess. Obviously, I think the obvious move is firing Luke Getsy. When the Bears talk about needing to have higher standards, I think it's obvious that Luke Getsy does not fit that standard. He has not been good as the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. So I think that's the obvious move. But I don't think Matt Eberflus should be given a hall pass because he is the one that hired Luke Getsy as the offensive coordinator. And at this moment in time, I would not trust Matt Eberflus to, one, draft another quarterback and try to develop that next quarterback, and two, pick a good offensive coordinator in order to put that quarterback in the best situations to succeed. Because once again, he thought Luke Getsy can do the job with zero credibility as a play caller. So to me, that is telling, especially when you consider the options that are now out there for the Chicago Bears. So if we do move in a different direction, you have Jim Harbaugh, maybe you have Bill Belichick, maybe you want to go that route. So overall, Bears fans, during the next couple of days, this is going to be quite interesting to find out what the Chicago Bears are going to do with their coaching staff. I think for sure Luke Getsy is gone. But then when you look at Matt Eberflus, I think it's still a huge question mark. I think it's leaning towards Matt Eberflus coming back for one more season. But at this moment, it's been so quiet at Hallis Hall the last couple of days that we don't know what's going to happen. So either way, I trust Ryan Poles in his decisions. If we do fire Matt Eberflus, I think that's okay with me. If we do keep Matt Eberflus, that would be okay with me. But all in all, I think we can all agree that Luke Getsy no longer needs to be the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. So before I let you guys go, let me ask you guys this. Do you think we should keep or fire head coach Matt Eberflus? Let me know down below in the comment section. Before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. Make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. Better than that, be back for our all-new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You've been listening to Geek on the Mic, a podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Thanks, guys. and bear down.